line. If you wanted that, you would come find us. Niggas know we ain't doing no hiding. When we pushing out, here come the stars. 33 verses, somebody Gbp Jpy, put that bitch in her chop. I've been in the kitchen, ain't cooking no weenie, but shawty said she want a hot bite. I eat it once and I'm going in the GP, cause her ugly friend wanna cut. Nah, I can't fuck with that thought, nah. JB pop out with that glide. Facing me in, I won never losing, but I was just prepping myself for the win. She brought a friend, beat us the pussy, then I go and cop it and hop in the band. She love my music, but say it's confusing, I read it up from the start to the end. You just a fan, well I'ma tell you the ins and outs, how I run it on bands. I need that bag today, so I ain't got time to be tripping or writing no love song. Yeah, writing no love song. We all experience.
So those distinctions. Yes, those distinctions.
Big bet, big bet. All right. Let me get rid of this music really quick, make sure that we are good. All right. I'm going to give it a couple seconds, let everybody else obviously join on to the live so everyone can start at the same time. I want to make sure everybody's getting the same amount of value, same amount of knowledge, being able to, if there's any questions that are being asked, some of those questions could obviously help somebody out as well. Something they didn't even know that they needed to ask or was even a question. So again, I just want to make sure everybody is on at the same time. Let me get lower all my stuff down over here so we can get started. But what is good? What is good? What is good? Hopefully we get a bunch of people on today. Last time, our first time actually doing a YouTube live, we actually was really successful. So I definitely appreciate those people who were on previously. If you guys are on right now, if you guys start trickling in, you guys watching the recording, I definitely appreciate it. You guys are amazing. So it is Monday. What's good, fam? What's good, yo? So yeah, I'm just going to give it a couple more seconds, but I definitely want to take a look at the charts with everybody. Make sure that we can identify some of the best setups together. Also, I want to take a quick look at some of these cryptocurrencies. A lot of them are bleeding, so I definitely want to take a look at these. Kind of give you the reasons on why cryptocurrencies, on a technical standpoint, on why they're currently on a downtrend, a very heavy sell, and what we should be doing next with the majority of these markets, so that way we can capitalize big when they actually start making their, bear or bullish moves rather. And these bearish moves are then over with. But I appreciate everybody being on right now. We got some people. Damn, it was our second one. We got some people on. I respect that. I appreciate it. So this is going to be an everyday thing. Monday through Thursday for the most part, because I don't trade on Fridays. So really no need to be on the charts on a Friday. And then if any legacy students are on currently right now, obviously later on tonight, we will be doing our own private session. So that way we can definitely get into the markets and really get into the nitty gritty and help you understand how to become profitable traders as well. So real quick, if you guys can do me one favor, if you know anybody who deserves or is learning how to trade and you think deserves a lot of knowledge, information, an outlet, a resource to become better, even without having to be so much of a part of a team such as us, being the fact that we just educate and trade on a daily basis, tell them to get on this call. It's really important that anybody who's especially just learning how to trade and starting off, that they come and learn from these sessions and these lives, obviously, because what we're doing here is just basic technical analysis. We're not going over a bunch of crazy indicators and how to scalp and use these small time frames. We're learning the markets overall, the blueprint. And with that, the blueprint, then you'll be able to kind of fine tune and tweak throughout the time and years that you are doing your own trading. So definitely get them on, share this if you can. I definitely appreciate it. Like it, comment, do whatever. I don't care. But just get this out to people who obviously want to learn how to trade, or at least just understand what tools need to be used in a positive manner, in a profitable way, so that way everybody can obviously win. Because trading isn't hard. Right? I think a lot of us, we believe that trading is a very difficult thing. And in a sense, it can be. I mean, we're obviously not always right when we trade. But the biggest thing I want everybody to understand is that, trading is something as simple as you could want to make it, or it could be as difficult as you want to make it. I try to at least show people that trading is not that difficult and you can make it as easy as you want. So it's very important that everybody sees that. And also sees that you don't need these guru tactics and strategies to actually be profitable. The only thing you need is common sense and consistency. Once you have those two things, you're good. So for the people that are on right now, thank you. I appreciate it. If we get more people on later on, that'd be awesome. If not, hopefully this continues to grow as we do these daily. So before I begin, the one thing I always like to ask students is there any charts that you guys would like to personally look at? Is there any questions that you guys have? If so, feel free to let me know. It's very important that I speak on relevance, things that you're obviously going to learn. learn from rather. Like take these things, you're actually going to be able to implement these on your, your own individual trading. And real quick too, I just also want to know if you guys, if it sounds bad, like the quality, please let me know. I do have like this little setup here, but I'm still fine tuning it myself, making sure that everything's good. So if you guys can hear me, let me know if it's too loud. Let me know if it's too low. Let me know. I just want to make sure everything's good, so that way we can begin and we don't get, everything is perfect for you guys on your end. But all right, I'm gonna start taking a look. I know that the stream kind of lags a little bit behind. You guys are like 7 to 10 seconds behind. So if you ask a question and I don't answer it immediately, it's just because I'm now seeing your question. So I am going to take a look at cryptocurrencies a little bit after, obviously, because I personally don't trade cryptos. I invest into them. So we will take a look at some of these forex pairs, because right now I am looking to place some trades. I need to obviously trade our auto trader account and also send signals out. So I really want to make sure that I'm on top of these charts, really making sure that we're understanding if there is any potential opportunities, where are they? Where's the best probability or the highest probable areas? So what we're going to do is we're going to go over here to our actual to our forex side. So the first thing I like to take a look at, for the most part, is like the DXY or gold. I don't necessarily need to take a huge, like a long look, or even sometimes look at all at the DXY to understand what the US dollar is going to do. Reason being is because I just take a look at gold. If anybody doesn't understand that correlation, whenever gold is increasing in value, the DXY is decreasing, because that is our reserve, the US's reserve. So anytime that gold is depreciating in value, that means the dollar is doing good. So if I see that gold is, let me actually go to gold now. If I see gold is in like this, in a bullish trend, oh, this is analysis, old analysis, we got to redo this. So if we can identify what gold is doing, so understanding its overall market, we'll be able to understand like a big factor, right? Because we'll know whether the dollar is bullish or bearish. So right now I do want to take a look at gold and see what we're coming back to, because gold's kind of been choppy. Really hasn't been giving us much. Excuse me. So gold has kind of broken out of its range, but there's a few things I'm personally taking a look at. Now, when I mean range, I'm speaking on this, right? The idea that this was a level low. And as you can currently see, I'm on the daily time frame. All right. I personally like using the higher time frames because I want to know the whole market. I want to know what it's doing, right? I want to know overall. I want to know whether it's bullish or bearish. So being able to understand this higher time frame, I'm not just going to draw this support and just think that's it. There are other levels of structure that should be taken into consideration. Obviously, there's some down here, but right now this market isn't telling us much. Yes, it did buy off of this break of structure, but what we're also getting is a retest of previously broken structure that was never respected, never met before, right here, just around this zone, right? Because you can see the wick just came right within that price point. So let me do this. So we have a potential retest, right? Because that's one point. Obviously, it could reach these highs as well. That's a obvious thing. So I'm not just going to simply just say, well, this structure is the best structure that we need to identify, but we are looking at a very positive area of price. Now, the one thing that's given me that idea is the fact of these candlesticks here, right? So anytime you have a strong impulsive move, all these pop-ups, anytime you have a strong impulsive move, there's going to be a correction. This is an impulsive move here. This is the potential correction. I say potential because obviously this market can just completely turn to the upside. But what's a catalyst? Catalyst is something that obviously helps initiate, speeds up the process, or gives you a reason to. And what we're looking at is a catalyst. The catalyst being this resistance point to cause a correction. So if I know on a higher time frame, good morning, what's up, Carletta? If I'm on a higher time frame and I see a strong impulse, I'm at a level of resistance, this could tell me that there could be a nice correction starting. Being on the higher time frame, we can now scale down to a smaller time frame to see where that correction may lead into. So I'm just marking gold up in its entirety just to understand its overall movement. It does seem as we came back down to that point. So we are in this range now. So with gold, and I'm going to have to go into a higher time frame to get a little bit more analysis because I did see something. But what I am looking at is the potential idea of two things, right? Because we could have a break to the upside, or the market can come back and break to the downside. This is the thing about trading. We're never going to know until one of these things happen. And then we get the confirmation of where the direction of this market may intend on going. So if I can kind of see or play around in this range, we can buy from here, take profits, sell from there. That's what you would most likely do in a range. I'm actually coming out with a pretty slick video on ranging markets. Very easy to make money. So what I'm looking at again is just a break above either one of these levels to give me a strong confirmation. But I do need to go back because I want to see something. Now with the information that I have, I'm going to get rid of some things so there's no confusion, right? Because I know that this is a level of structure up there, but I know it looks weird. But these two lines are telling me everything that I personally need, right? Because I need a break above for continued buys, or I need a break below for continued sells. I would say more along the lines of sells, because look at this current market. It's more along the lines of a downtrend overall. Now, I'm going to draw my trend line backwards here just to see if these points actually do connect before I waste my time. They do. Now, I never draw my trend lines backwards like that. I just wanted to see something. So we also have this trend line here. That's another deciding factor that could say potential sells, right? Overall market. I'm not just looking at the smaller time frames and saying, well, I'm waiting for this. No. I now see that we have multiple touches of this trend line. With that, that should show me continued sells. 1 touch, 2 touch, 3 touch, 4. So now we're getting confluence. Confluence is being able to identify multiple confirmations in one area, right? It's X marks the spot. That's what I always like to say to students is X marks the spot. Where everything comes together is where it all makes sense. And your analysis is then becoming a lot more probable in your favor. Being the fact that if I'm looking at a level of strong resistance on here on the daily, I can see that there's also a level, or not a level, a dynamic level of support and resistance being this trend line. You'll be able to identify that the candlesticks are now also looking extremely exhausted around that area. That's important. Because if that's if that's showing me exhaustion around that area, bullish exhaustion, then what could potentially happen next? Potential sells. Right now, if I scale down to a smaller time frame, I'm gonna get rid of everything. We already understand what the higher time frame is giving us. And we only had 3 lines there because we don't need a lot to gauge what's gonna happen next. I know that I'm on a daily level of structure. I know that there's a daily trend line as well. When I'm scaling down to smaller time frames, what I'm trying to do is just find more confluence. That's it. I'm not trying to overcomplicate anything, do anything extra. I just want to see if there's any other confluence that I can actually look at and to determine what's going to happen next. If I can, perfect. If not, well then you know what? I'll let the market develop a little bit more so that way I can get a strong idea of what's going to happen next. Now, if anybody, I know we got some legacy students on here, like my girl Carletta over here. What's good, what's good, what's good? We got some more people on. Thank you guys. I highly appreciate you being on this session. This is going to be an everyday thing, so be excited. I hope this gives you enough knowledge to potentially become your own individual trader, or at least get you more profits on your own, and more confidence, right? That's the biggest thing. And with confidence comes profits. So now being on the 1 hour, might have to scale to the 2 hour, maybe even the 4 hour. Oh yeah, no, we'll do it here on the 2 hour and 1 hour. So the one thing I'm always trying to pay attention to are confluences, actions, or like clues that the market leaves behind. Now, what could be some of those clues? Well, what is this? Even though it looks really, really ugly. It's a head and shoulders pattern. Now, before it was just here. It developed this second shoulder because you have your head and shoulders pattern, actually this being the right shoulder here. And you can see it crashed right through, broke the neckline, but the market just came right back up to structure, resistance. Now, as weird as this sounds, that is all we really need here on this time frame. I don't need to draw any trend lines. I don't need to add any fibs. I don't need to go and start adding all this crazy shit. Like, where is it? Just to show you, like, you can make trading as hard as you want or as, easy. I don't know what this is or how to use it, but you don't even need something like that. You know what I mean? Just keep it as simple as possible. If I know that this level of structure here is resistance and it's sold from that point before, what can happen now? Same thing, right? The possibility of this market using this price as a sell is extremely high because we can already see that it's done that in the previous time, in previous history. So me understanding that, I'm going to say, well, long term, right now, I understand that on gold, we are at a level of daily resistance. With that daily resistance, we can also see that there was a trend line. with that trend line, we also see that when we scale down to smaller time frames, the market started developing into more of a reversal pattern, an idea that buyers are no longer welcome and sellers are potentially starting to take over. That's important because now there's a few things that you can do. Obviously, the biggest thing for me is to see a break below that level of structure because, again, this was or has retested this as resistance. And with that being retested as resistance, I'm sorry, support rather, right? This is support because this was resistance, now it is support. So with this being a level of support, this can have the opportunity to bounce up higher, right? But we're not getting that picture just yet. We're actually getting the opposite, which is great because it's not always going to be a bullish market. It's not always going to be a seller's market. We're going to be able to use the market and the development of it to really determine its next move. And right now it's pointing around the idea of potential sells. Now with these sells, a lot of you guys are probably asking where you enter the sells from. Now, honestly, if you can get the market to come back up to these highs, absolutely. I think this would be the highest probable or the best idea because in the event that we did place it. Now, obviously, there's no entry on this right now, so please don't go ahead and start selling this. But right now, if there was an entry, again, it'll be like this. If it can come back up here, your trade would look like this. My stop loss going right above those highs. My first take profits, obviously, at that level of structure. And if that's broken, obviously, I'm not going to have a take profit. I'm going to ride this bitch all the way down. Real talk. You know what I mean? So, for me, gold is gearing up for its potential big move. We just got to allow it to actually develop, gain the energy and the volatility needed in order for it to actually do so. So I'm very heavily looking for sells and bearish moves here with gold. Hopefully we start to get that idea next week. Let me actually see if this works. It kind of does. All right. Perfect. Let me get rid of this. All right, that's perfect. So real quick, before I move on, hopefully for the individuals that are currently on, hopefully I was somewhat informative. If not, I apologize. If you're confused, feel free to let me know. If you guys have any questions, also I am looking at the chat, so I'm more than able and willing to answer any and all questions that you guys have as well. If you guys have any specific markets and charts that you would like to identify, have me mark up, really go over, give you my idea and opinion on. Also let me know. I could definitely do that. Really make sure that you guys are being led in the right direction. So I got you guys. If not, I'll just go ahead and look at a few other things. I actually did, since there's really not that many people on, and just to keep you guys excited and consistent on these sessions, I'll actually give you guys a trade. I just want to see how it's doing really fast. See if it's, oh shit. All right. Well, that's, if you guys would like, this is for my appreciation to you for being on today's stream and obviously giving me your time, learning how to trade. You may place this trade. It is a buy here on USD-CHF. Right, so me being able to see, I'll kind of like go over this here in a second on the reasoning on why we're buying, but I just wanted to give you guys the stop loss and take profits, so that way you guys can execute this. So we are already in on this as a buy. As you can see here, this is our entry points. I don't know how many pips we're currently up, but hopefully you guys don't get into any drawdown. We're currently up about 15 pips, so you'll be in a 15 pip drawdown. Looks good, Carletta. I appreciate it. So, Carletta, real quick, how's it sound? Does it sound bad? Is there an echo? I'm still like making sure that this whole setup is perfect, so that way we can continue to do this every day. But I don't want this to sound bad on your end. If it does, obviously I'll go ahead and go make some adjustments and fix some things, so that way it sounds beautiful and perfect for you guys. But if it's good, then we're set. But yes, if you guys want, go ahead and place that buy on USD-CHF. We'll go over the reasoning on the buy right now. So I'm going to leave this here because I actually do need this for. Obviously for students, for everybody who wants to see the stop loss, take profit, entry, all that. So I'm just going to leave that here for right now. But I will go ahead and go. Actually, no, I don't need it because I actually did place this on my personal account too. So what we're looking at, again, as you see, I'm on a higher time frame. I'm understanding the overall market. You're in perfect. I love it. So real quick, right? Understanding that I'm on a higher time frame because I want to get the bigger picture. Understanding what this market is giving us. If I don't, then it's going to be hard to determine whether it's a buy or a sell, right? I see a lot of people will always ask, is this an uptrend? Is this in a downtrend? How can we determine these things? Well, there's a lot of ways that you'll be able to determine a trend or a market But I'm trying to tackle these things in a very simplistic manner, so that way I know the ultimate move. Sound is good, perfect. I want the sound to be perfect though, so I'm actually gonna probably go ahead and get another mic so that way it sounds like we're on a fucking radio station or legit podcast or something. But I got you guys. So me understanding again the fact that being on the higher time frame, it's going to show me the overall market, the bigger move, what's initially going to happen. So that way when I'm, if I go to sleep tonight, and I say if, because I barely get any sleep with you guys. Always trying to make you guys money. But the biggest thing with me is, again, I want to know the overall, trend, direction, movement, because when I scale onto smaller time frames, I'm automatically, looking for something specific. I don't have to have my mind move a million miles, look for this, look for that. I'm already looking for something specific. If I know it's in a bullish market, I'm not going to say always, but the probability is there. I'm going to always be looking for buys and vice versa. If I'm in a seller's market, I'm going to want to do the same thing. Right, I want to make sure that I'm looking for the most high probable sells. Now, in a seller's market, there's obviously going to be, reversals. There's going to be something called a PRZ. I know a lot of you guys have heard me say this before, but it's called a potential reversal zone. I'm not going to go too far back, but we'll just do it right here. That's important because what do you do at a level, or let me even rephrase that. When you're at a level of support, what usually ends up happening? You find buys, right? Sells no longer starts to sell, right? They start to change the direction. The market is like, you know what? I'm at this floor. I'm in the basement. I can't go any lower. So what can I potentially do now? Let me regroup, get my energy back. I'm already out of breath. So let me go ahead and just chill here for a little bit, and then I'll make my way back up. And that's exactly what we're currently looking at with USD-CHF. This market has came back down to a very significant level of support. With that support being important, it's important for us as traders, retail traders. I know a lot of people believe in bank trading and order blocks and institutional trading. That's cute. But what the market is actually just doing is showing you everything that is, everything that the market will do and the future moves are made at specific decision areas, i.e., guess what? Support and resistance. So if I can understand that this level of structure, no matter who you are, no matter if you work for a bank, an institution, a hedge fund, whatever, that is a very important level of structure to me, to you, to them. So I need to identify that for potential high probable setup, because what's eventually going to happen is a move, right? One of two things can happen. Obviously, the market can buy from here, which I believe is going to happen and is currently happening. Now the market can also break lower. And if that happens, then we already know what to do. We're just going to ride that to the downside, even more, down to the next levels of current structure, being here and here. But we don't have that currently, so I'm not paying attention to that. I am looking at this again as a PRZ. In case anybody doesn't know what that is, it is a potential, I can't spell, reversal zone. There we go. I made them all caps by accident towards the end there, but that's perfectly fine. Right, potential reversal zone. Now it's potential because obviously within the market, nothing is 100%. I want to be able to make sure that what I am looking, though, is close to it as far as my probabilities. I can't go into a trade 25%, confident. I need to be at least 75 to 80%. 75 is even pushing it. I would say 80 to 90% confident. I wouldn't say accurate. I would say confidence, because obviously what we do is not going to be perfect within the markets. But as long as we are confident within our setup, then obviously, and patient as well, we'll be able to fruition and stay consistently profitable. So being at this potential reversal zone, I now need to scale down to smaller time frames to develop some more information, to get a stronger idea, right? I really want to make sure that this market is giving me exactly what I'm seeing. Each time frame needs to tell me the same thing. So the daily is telling me potential buy because we're at a level of current structure. I also need the other time frames to tell me the same thing. Now I'm just going to get rid of everything really fast because we're not going to need too much. Now, there isn't a lot that we can gauge from this time frame except for the fact that we do have this triple bottom, with that triple bottom being at a level of strong support. Again, more along the lines of the daily support. Now, this is something that I don't think a lot of people pay attention to, at least I like to. When I'm at these structure points, and only at these structure points will I identify this was the lowest point, because you can see how this is lower than this low, right? So that should determine that sellers are back in the market, or still, trying to take over. But what is this low? That low is higher than this low. So what we're getting is the idea of it's already kind of shaping up to become bullish. Because we had, even though this isn't a higher high, this is just a correction to this impulse. The one thing I am noticing is if this is the correction to this impulse, the next impulse statistically should break lower and continue its initial trend. But we didn't get that. So since we didn't get that, I'm looking at the fact that this is now a higher low. With that higher low is going to determine that sellers, again, are probably really exhausted. If they are, buyers might be coming through. There's one more thing we need to do. Scale down to a smaller time frame, because this is the reason on why I started looking for the buys and why you guys are currently in profits. If any legacy students are on, why you guys are in profits on the signal and the auto trader right now. So I'm looking at it, and you guys are about 17 pips in profit on the auto trader. So kudos, congratulations. We're starting off the week beautifully. So when we scale down to the 1 hour time frame, can anybody see what I see? Good answers. I know you guys are probably saying it. Double bottom. Now, with that double bottom being there, that's going to tell me that, is this in fact continuing with a sell? Because it doesn't seem like it. Where is that double bottom coming back to? Previous level of structure. It's all about where the actions are being made. Understand this. Price, action. We have to identify the most relevant levels of price and structure, i.e. support and resistance. That's it. And then the actions that proceed within them. Those actions, confirm the direction, the, entry, if you will, right? Those things determine what's going to happen next with the market. So it's really important that you guys understand that. So hopefully that makes sense. If anybody's confused, feel free to let me know. We are currently in buys on USD CHF. Hopefully you guys are in profits on those as well. So any questions? Anybody have any charts that you guys would like for me to take a look at? I am taking a look at the YouTube chat. So if you guys have anything, feel free to let me know. I definitely got you guys. If not, I'll go ahead and take a look at a few more charts, see if there's anything else we could potentially trade. Again, I do want to see if there's any signals, anything that I could put out for our auto trader. I do have the auto trader computer right in front of me. I got like 3 computers in front of me and 5 screens in total, and it's insane, but I kind of like it. I'm able to see everything and get everything done quickly. So yeah, if there's any questions, if there's anything you guys have, again, I am taking a look at the YouTube chat. I'm more than blessed to even have you guys on here. So it'll be an absolute honor to answer any and all questions that you guys may have, or look at any charts that you guys specifically would like to take a look at as well. But it seems like you guys are just sitting back, listening, learning, and that's beautiful. That's perfect. I appreciate that. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and take a look at some other charts, see if there's anything else. Now, one thing also on a Monday, you aren't going to go crazy placing 1,000,001 trades, right? Sometimes I do that, but that's very sparingly, very risky at the same time. But me being able to know that it's Monday, I'm not going to go ahead and just place 1,000,001 trades. I want to be able to understand fully over for the week, right? Because then if I could get 1 or 2 trades, or not even 1 or 2 trades, 1 or 2 trades a day, I was going to say a week, 1 to 2 trades a day, that's perfectly fine, right? Because at the end of it, I'm looking for 50 to 100 pips for each and every trade. So if I get 50 to 100 pips on every trade, I place 2 to 3 maybe, a day. By the end of the week, I'm up big, and that's just with consistency and patience. So that's kind of like what I'm looking for. So what I'm going to do is, I don't see any questions or nothing. It seems like you guys is Gucci. I'm going to go ahead to my other favorite pair, Gbp Jpy. This was last week's entry, and you can see how great that's doing right now. I'll actually leave this so we can go over the reasoning on why we went over, why we placed this trade. I'm pretty sure you guys can already see the reasoning behind it. You know what? Somebody said CAD CHF. I'll come back to this. I definitely want to accommodate and make sure that you guys are Gucci. So I'm actually going to go ahead and take a look at CAD CHF. I apologize for that. Real quick, if you guys didn't know, because I know a lot of you guys are just coming in right now, there is a delay on the stream. So if I ask a question and it comes and you answer it and it sounds like I'm ignoring it, I promise you I'm not. It's just a delay between me and you, me and the stream, or me and you through the stream. So I'll definitely make sure that I answer your questions to the best of my abilities. Now, with that being said, what is it that you would like to understand, Samantha, about CAD CHF? What is your question? What is it that you would like for me to, what is it you want me to accomplish with this chart right now? Do you just want a markup? Are you in a trade on this? What's good? What is it you got? Again, I want to make sure that you're solid, but I will take a look at this. Again, always going to start on a high time frame. This is a very easy chart to kind of look at. I can already see it with just being here on the daily. to be completely honest, especially with how the Canadian dollar is now losing its initial strength. Before it was really strong. I think fundamentally it was finding its more along the lines of strength. It was acting like the Hulk. Nothing was going, nothing was going against it. Canadian dollar was extremely bullish. But what I do kind of understand that right now is we are still in a seller's market, or an immediate seller's market, because if we look overall, overall, yeah, definitely still very much a seller's market. I thought this was the start of the whole, bullish trend, but no, this is still very much a seller's market, especially overall. But immediately, because you have an overall trend and you have an immediate trend. Didn't know that, did you? So if I can understand that right now, this market is in a seller's market, then I should be looking more along the lines for sells. Now, speaking of lines along them, we're going to now use one trend line. And we can see that that trend line was respected. Now, I personally, let me see if it could even be like this. I don't like cutting through shit like that, like wicks and candles and stuff, but I'll go back to my original analysis right here. Right? So we do have, in fact, this trend line. That's important. That's really important. Now, a lot of people would say this is an order block. That's not. What I like to do is just identify levels of structure, and this will just be my entire zone. This is not an order block. Real quick, banks don't use order blocks. Banks use technical analysis. I just want everybody to understand that, because I see a lot of people, you're thinking it's a sell, Samantha, you're correct. But just real quick, because I see a lot of this like bank and institutional trade like a bank, trade like a bank. Banks don't trade like that. Because do you really think that us as individuals really understand how they trade? No. You know what I mean? An order block, definition of an order block, I just want everybody to understand this, because I always get that question. I actually just saw somebody on Facebook, I guess, said, I'm on your YouTube, can you answer the question here? And I saw that something about order block. You guys can ask your questions here. I could see them. I got you. But an order block, by true definition, is an area of place where, or an area of structure or price where a lot of orders or like limit orders are placed, where people are looking to place their trades at. So if you look at any order block, if you look at any one of them, where are they always at? A level of structure, support and resistance. So I'm never looking at things as a bank way. I'm looking at everything as a structural price way, support and resistance. Keep it simple. So I'm not, ever, in case that person's still on the call, I'm never using order blocks. That's not my strategy. That is not a valid strategy, in my opinion. I don't think bank trading is a very good thing as well. But if you use technical analysis, it's literally the same thing, just very simplistic. Hopefully that kind of answers the question for the individual. So you think it's a sell? I still think it's a sell as well. You can see here at this level of structure and this trend line. Here on the daily, we had a double top. That was that was like a tongue twister. Daily level of structure at this trend line showing a strong level of resistance, and you have that double top, right? Now, here's a secret, and you guys are lucky because since we're starting this channel off new, I want to make sure you guys get a lot of information. But some of this stuff, I mean, you could learn all this stuff regardless, but it's just like, these are things that not a lot of people would teach or tell you. But the one thing that you guys have to understand about double tops and double bottoms is it's never valid up here. A lot of people think that a double top or a double bottom, in this case obviously a double top because that's what we're looking at, they think it's valid from here, then they start their sells. That's actually the incorrect way of doing it, right? And then Billy, I got you. I want to know about the pair euro NZD sell. All right, well, I don't know if it's a sell, but I'll give you my idea of it. And then I see right now, Samantha, on H4, I see a double top, a break of support that was retested. Should I get into that at that zone that was broken, or has it moved past already? We'll get all into that. I got you. So what I'm looking at, again, just like you said, that double top. But the thing about a double top is it's never confirmed up here. It's confirmed when it breaks this level of structure, right? It's market structure. That's all it is, right? Because you're in a bullish market, so you're creating higher highs and higher lows. Now you create a lower high. You break a low to create a lower high and lower low. So now that I see exactly that, what do you think? Right? You have your double top up here. So the market has confirmed the double top by breaking the structure. And guess what, Sam? Retesting it. That's your entry. See what I'm saying? So yes, to answer your question, it has moved past. It's already gone. But that should, if your entry was not riskily taken, which is I say riskily taken because obviously a double top or double bottom is confirmed when that's broken. But I would even place a trade up here. I'll be real with you. I'm not gonna lie about that. I would even place a trade up here. So if you didn't get a sell from here, that's perfectly fine. Now you have confirmed sells because that double top is broken, retested, and rejected. So if I already see that, and you also have this, scale down to your smaller time frames, get detailed. Understand what this whole market is giving you. Make sure this trend line is accurate. I always get on students' cases about making sure this shit is accurate, so I'll heed my own advice. I mean, right? There's a lot that's there that's already telling you that, yes, in fact, I am a sell. Now you have the confirmations of those sells. You already know that. Now, where would you get in? That's the only thing you need left is to understand where you want to get in. That's the tricky part, right? That's the hard part. We know it's confirmed for a sell right now. CAD CHF will sell down to at least these lows. This being the whole zone, right? So anywhere in between these two direct points or anywhere in between it is where CAD CHF will most likely sell down to. So you're right. You confirmed everything. You know this. This is the thing, right? And this is not to sound disrespectful by no means. I hope it doesn't. I'm from New York, so everything we say sounds horrible. Sounds like I'm cursing you out while I'm saying good morning. So don't take this disrespectfully. But the one thing about a lot of us, right? We know the answers to the question. It's right there. But the one thing we don't do is feel confident enough to trust it. A lot of us, when we do that, when anybody does that, if you ever come into the crossroads where you're like, I don't know, I know everything. It looks like a double top, it looks like a head and shoulders pattern, it looks like a sell, but is it? You're never going to be able to call a spade unless, guess what? It's a fucking spade. So call it how you see it. You know what I mean? That's just the truth. That's me being as real as possible. You're never just going to go into a chart and be able to call shit what it is and determine and see these things and call these, by their technical terms and then be wrong. Majority of the time, your first instinct is correct. Trust it. So you are absolutely right, Samantha. I do think that CAD CHF is a continued sell based off the analysis I gave and even off the analysis that you put in the chat, which is beautiful. It's great. Now the thing is, since you know where the market is going, it's most likely selling, the best idea for you to do right now is look for your potential entries. And let me just double check, or has it moved past already? It still looks like a good risk reward. The risk reward is only determined by your entry. That is the only way that you're going to be able to determine your risk reward. So don't say, yeah, I'm going to sell right now, and then guess what? Your stop loss, and please do not, I repeat this, nobody, do not sell this right now. This is not a entry. This is a educational fucking explanation. I don't want anybody to say, oh, I'll see it. No. If you sold right now, your stop loss is up here. You see what I'm saying? And then your first take profit is here. Your second take profit is there. That's still a one-to-one, not even. You're still negative on that. So it all depends on your entry. Hypothetically, let's say it came back up here and then you entered there as well. Now, the risk to reward will be a little bit better, but it's still not perfect. You know what I mean? So be careful with that. It's all, your risk reward is based on your entry. Thanks for the help. Absolutely. And then somebody said Euro NZD. All right. So my man Billy Mitchell. So real quick, if you guys are getting a lot of information, if you guys are enjoying this, if you guys are right now in profits on USD CHF, because you guys should be, feel free to please like this, share this with other individuals. I really want to make sure that we grow this community based off of value, based off of transparency, really allow people to understand that there is an outlet, there is a guide, and there is a way to learn how to trade. And it's not as hard and complicated as people think. I want to at least exploit the easiness of the markets and exploit that you don't need these guru tactics and strategies and all these crazy things in order for you to actually become profitable. That's like the worst thing ever. So if you guys can like, share, comment, do whatever, I appreciate it. You helping me helps you, right? The more people that we have, the more consistent, the more I see this grow, a lot more value, a lot more, things I will be putting out for everybody as well. But you should already like this and send this to somebody if you're making money off of USD CHF, because we did place that in the beginning of the call. So if anybody did place that and you are in profits, please, by all means, at least let me know in the comments. It would be highly appreciated on my end. So that way, again, I can continue to do this, stay motivated to make sure that you're all making money. So Going back to Euro NZD, for the individual who wanted to know about it, what is it you want to know? Do you want a markup? Are you in a trade on it? What is the analysis or question that you have with this specific markup, or chart rather? Oh, let me go ahead and put my phone on a charger, because if not, this is going to die. And again, if you guys are like answering things and it's taking me a while to see it, it's just there is a delay in the stream, so I do apologize. But it doesn't seem like anybody got any questions. I think my man that asked about Euro NZD was like, he ain't going to do it, so I'm out. But I will do it in the case that you are still here or that you watch the recording. Now, I have a very big idea with this because this is actually something I was paying attention to previously, Euro NZD being, right? Can anyone see what I see? This is really important that you guys start to understand how to mark up your charts without actually having to fucking mark it up. That's me being real. Because one thing that you want to do is kind of become robotic with a lot of your trading. Robotic in the sense of you're in profits, Carla. Hey, let's get it. So the one thing you always want to do when you're marking up these charts, and not even marking them up, is just you want to always become robotic. You want to identify the same thing over and over and over again. You don't want to deviate from that. Once you do, you're going to fuck up your entire plan. Plan your trade, trade your plan. So goes the saying, right? So the one thing I can see is, yes, right now Euro NZD is very much in a downtrend, without a doubt. But what I also can see is something extremely important. Extremely important. I'm going to teach you guys something because, again, since we are in the beginning of the stream and since I wanted to grow and I want you guys to get a lot of information and knowledge, and I do know that we have a ton of legacy students here right now, just like my man, or who is this? Oh, Miss Newsom. My apologies, Miss Newsom, Miss S. Newsom. Exactly. Inverted head and shoulders pattern at a very significant level of structure. Now, the one thing I know a lot of you guys are probably going to be saying is, how is that structure? Good question. Let me answer that for you. Because as you can see here, this was support. And it did come back down to reach these lows here as well for a bit, but nothing too crazy. Now, the one thing I do understand is a head and shoulders pattern, or inverted head and shoulders pattern. Works the same. Is that anytime you're at a level of structure, saying here, guess what? This is the true structure. The left shoulder develops, and then what ends up happening is you get that break below. That is considered the fake out, because you're supposed to get a break and a retest to the downside, right? Wrong. Comes right back within that price point and uses the same support and then starts to buy. So, and then this being your neckline here, obviously the level of structure. That's exactly what we have with Euro NZD. Billy, I'm looking for a pullback. For a pullback chart markup, I don't know what that is. This is a pullback chart markup. Are you waiting for a pullback or a correction? Is that what you mean? If so, I mean, that's probably your best bet, because right now, again, Euro NZD is a strong buy. Now, where's your entries? I think that's the question you're asking. Now, I personally don't like to just sit here and say your entries are here, because I want you guys to be able to figure that shit out yourselves. That's not to sound bougie, that's not to sound fucking disrespectful, but that's to help you, because you're not going to be able to jump onto a chart and determine this and get the confidence about if anybody gives you the answers to the test, right? You always want to be able to determine that yourself. Should you be waiting for a pullback? Absolutely. But where? I'll give you the answer this time, but I want you to be able to see it next time. That is the most important thing about trading. I want everybody to understand this shit. It is an individual sport. Nobody wants to see you succeed more than yourself, especially in this game. I want to see you guys succeed. This is why I'm doing this. But the biggest thing for me is I want you guys to all be able to determine this yourself. There's no such thing as a pullback chart markup, but there is a pullback, and I can't mark this chart up. But the one thing I will say is, again, understand the overall market. Now, do you know if this is a buy or a sell? If you didn't, you know now. If you didn't before, that's something you need to understand, because you want to look for the overall long-term analysis. Again, inverted head and shoulders pattern. Was that neckline broken? Does that make a little bit more sense? I'm not putting much, but the little that I am putting makes a lot of sense, right? What do you, 1680? What do you mean? Oh, for the pullback? I mean, yeah, it's just a simple break and retest. I'm gonna mark this up entirely. I got you. So again, does this make sense? All I did was just draw a line. Nothing complicated. You know what I mean? It doesn't have to look like this in order for you to get a positive trade. I know that looks crazy. Everybody's like, what is that? But this is all you need, right? I have a break of the neckline. I have a retest of that neckline. The retest of that neckline has obviously been respected. So if I know that this inverted head and shoulders pattern, which determines more along the lines of continued bullish movements, right? Because that's a reversal pattern, a bullish reversal pattern. The break of that trend line is important too, because that determines a continuation of saying that buyers are in fact taking control of this market. Trend line. I mean, everything within trading is so common sense. It's a fucking line that determines the direction and trend. And if it's broken, it's not going that way no more. Very simple. So if I can see that it's most likely bullish, and I understand that what used to be previous resistance will end up as newfound structure, where do you think your entries will be, Billy? Simple analysis, massive profits. 2 + 2 = apples, y'all. So to answer your question, Billy, I think it's going to be roughly around that range. Now, obviously, you need a little bit more confluence. We'll scale down to smaller time frames to, get a more accurate, detailed description of what we could be doing. But I mean, just roughly around that range. You got to look at it. And this is a generalized statement. You need to actually look. Has anybody as a kid, I know for me, for sure, when your parents be like, yo, can you get me this? And you look for like 2 seconds, you say like, you can't find it. It's because you really didn't look. If you did, you'd be able to find everything just flat out right in front of you. And that's something that I had to tell myself when I'm coming up as a trader, right? I had to be able to say, well, I can't find anything. False. I was lying to myself. The market is leaving these clues behind. You just need to be detailed enough to understand and where to find them. That's it. That's your markup. We went from the higher time frame, from the daily, didn't have to do anything. We understood that the neckline of the inverted head and shoulder pattern was broken. With the head and shoulders pattern broken, we scaled down to a smaller time frame to get the detailed analysis and structure here, so that way we can find entries. There it is. Real simple. And your pullback, this is your pullback, because this is your impulse, this is its correction. So if we come back to that level of structure, you could look for potential buys there. Are there buys there right now? No, because even if we do this, we scale down to a smaller time frame, such as the 1 hour, we've already, even on the 15-minute probably too, that's a break and a retest there. You see what I'm saying? It's all dependent on how you, the individual trader, could perceive the markets, right? To be able to determine and see what's going to happen next. It depends on how you are a trader, like what time frames you're using. You could be on the 15-minute time frame, be like, I want to break and retest of that structure. It's all dependent on you. There's so many ways that you could trade. I could be looking for buys, you could be looking for sells, and we're probably both right. It's just all dependent on how we're looking and marking these charts up. So I do think that you're looking more along the lines of buys in this market, and your buys will be roughly around this range down here, for your highest probability at least. Just roughly around that range. Again, you always want to identify the most relevant level of price and the actions within them. So this could be your strongest idea here. And to answer that question, who was that? My man Francis. You're absolutely right. Just roughly around that range. That's 16 or that 68 handle, 168, right? Because it's just, again, a very simple idea. This is nothing nobody knows. This is the one and the first thing that a lot of people learn when they first learn when they trade, break and retest. But how often does that happen? Every single day. How important is that? Very important. How profitable is it? Extremely profitable. Keep it simple, right? Keep it as simple as possible so that way you guys can all make money. Now, any other questions? Any other charts you guys would like to take a look at, feel free to let me know. I definitely got you. If not, I'll see if there's anything else we can look at. I do, before we conclude, want to go over some cryptocurrencies. Right, a lot of these cryptos right now are bleeding, and it is beautiful. I know a lot of people are like, why? What the fuck? I don't get it. I'm losing money. False. It's because everybody wanted to follow all these fucking gurus. Anytime Bitcoin shoots up or does anything, new companies come out, new gurus come out, everybody changes their Facebook profile picture with a suit. It's the weirdest thing. I don't understand. But when we look at it on a technical standpoint, we could determine that this was going to sell from a lot. If any students are on right now, and you guys have heard me, how many times have I been saying this from months ago, since last year, that cryptocurrency is going to go lower? Especially we were looking at one specific, or Bitcoin rather, to be more specific, we were looking at a structure level on crypto, or Bitcoin rather, and I said it's going to come down to this level because of one factor that we'll take a look at here shortly. And if that's broken, without a doubt, we're going to have a crash and everybody's going to panic. But we could have seen this a long time ago. It's really important, again, that we understand things, every market, on a technical standpoint. Very simplistic, no complications. Actually, I'll take a look at that right now because it's really important. I really don't see too much as far as like other like forex pairs. Again, being Monday, you don't want to go too crazy. A lot of things have made their impulsive moves, and they're going to be coming back. Like for instance, just to come here on USD CAD, it might come back down to there. So we already know the analysis of the majority of these. We just need to be a little bit patient and allow them to actually, develop. So not too much as far as trading is concerned here for today, as far as, forex pairs are concerned. If you guys did place USD CHF, you guys are in profits on that. I know this is not an actual trade, guys, so please don't go ahead and place that. This was our entry last week on Gbp USD. We sold from there, still doing great. So as you see, a lot of these charts right now, they're continuing to, move, and they're not giving us our development yet, which is great because it gives us time to allow to go look at other charts, really be able to pay attention to other things without having to focus on entries, because right now there is none, which is great. It gives us a little bit more time to look at some things too. So, I forgot, I did say that I was going to go over the reasoning on the sells here on GJ from last week, but I do want to take a look at Bitcoin because I'm getting a lot of questions on this and what's initially happening, why is it selling. Let's go into a higher time frame, right? So being on the weekly is just because I want to get an overall idea of what's happening. Now, I'm not focused on the highs up here. I know this created some highs, some resistance, perfect. Resistance, got it. But the one thing that's important is what happens at these levels of structure and the development, what's really going on, the actions, right? Price, action. Now, I'm on the weekly because I wanted to look at the extreme highs, just very cleanly. All I got to do is now scale down to the daily, and guess what? You see exactly what happened. Why is everyone so confused as to why Bitcoin is selling? Makes no sense to me, right? It's literally been showing us its move since December of last year. So just a few months ago, last month rather, right? But if we really look at it, you can kind of tell a head and shoulders pattern before it's developed. It started really from up here. You could see how the lows were starting to be made, the lower lows and lower highs. Now, I wasn't sitting here and saying, oh, this is definitely going to turn into a head and shoulders pattern. I already know. But when it started developing, even from here, I was like, that reminiscence and then a strong push down, a respect of the neckline and structure. It was kind of a gimme, right? A gimme trade, gimme analysis, showing you that, in fact, no matter what happens, like, yeah, bro, that's what's going to happen. I could see it. It's big, right? Huge head and shoulder pattern, smacking everybody right in the face, but every guru still saying buy and invest. You're not supposed to. Now, what do I think is going to happen next? A lot of people started laughing at me and said, oh, you're fucking crazy. That's impossible. We're at 70,000, Jay. It'll never go back to those points. Ha ha, last laugh, because look what's happening. We're coming back down to this area of structure. This 30,000 handle, which is beautiful. I would love to see that because it just makes cryptocurrency literally more than half off. We're at 70,000, right? It's going to reach that $30,000 handle. That is a lot cheaper, a lot more affordable for every single individual to get in and invest. Investing into crypto is what I do. I don't personally day trade it. I just simply invest into it because I think that's the long-term approach that everybody should be taking. So if it comes back down to this level of structure, potential buys, right? We can see before what's happened when we got to that point. It can happen again. Now, does that mean it's going to? Absolutely not. Because if that level of structure is broken, Bitcoin and the majority of all cryptos, they're going to have a hard time becoming bullish up until they reach down here. Now, this is where I would even say that's a little bit far-fetched. That's a little too low for especially cryptocurrency or Bitcoin to be specific. But is it impossible? Absolutely not. Now, if Bitcoin did come back down to this 12,000 or 11,000 handle, my God, would that be beautiful. That means the majority of everybody, especially legacy students, because by that time, you guys, especially with the auto trader, what I got cooking for you guys now, easily can get 1, 2, 3 coins itself. And we already know its potential. Imagine being able to get Bitcoin back down here, get one full or two full Bitcoins, and it comes back up to here. You're good. You know what I mean? So what I'm looking at for the majority, not just Bitcoin, but all cryptos, they will continue to sell off. I think that they'll continue to sell up into one of these reference points and then have an extremely strong bullish impact, especially with how banks are now being able to, I would say, invest, potentially even later on, make money off of it for their own individual selves. Because if I'm correct, they can't make money for themselves. They can only make money for their actual, I guess, employer. We never know. We do know, man. It's kind of, again, it's just, I think a lot of people are naive to the fact because they're losing money on cryptocurrencies, or they don't look as cool as they did because of how all in they told everybody to go on cryptocurrencies. And that's not being disrespectful. That's being real. You know what I mean? Because a lot of individuals right now, they're losing money on cryptocurrency because they have little to no knowledge of what it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be used, or it's supposed to be treated like an actual market, not a game. Everybody's like metaverse, NFTs. It's going to bring Bitcoin up. No, it's not. We go take a look at Ethereum too. Let me actually just do this. The majority of all cryptos are bleeding. Where you at, Ethereum? I don't have it here? That's crazy. I got it here though, right? A lot of individuals are screaming about Ethereum because that's the main payment that you would use for NFTs, even gas fees to convert, other cryptocurrencies. There's a lot. But it's still burning, and I love the fact that it's coming back down because at 2,000, what is this? Oh, 1,800. If it holds here, I'm going to let everybody even know here on the YouTube. If you're in the Discord, obviously everybody here I'm sure is from the Discord. I will absolutely be telling you guys to invest there. I do have a little section here on the Discord where I tell, or I will be telling, because there hasn't been any investments that I was telling students to get into, because obviously it's selling right now. I'm not going to tell them to be buying into a seller's market. But what you can see right now is if it does reach those areas, that's the best area for us to do what? Invest. Get a lot of money into that market so that way you can obviously ride this bitch up. We were at 48, almost 5,000. You're going to get this at half off, a little bit more. If it comes back any lower, if it comes back down any lower, that would be great too. I would actually like to see this a little bit better, because you'll be getting $1,000 a lot cheaper than Bitcoin's 30,000, right? And you'll be able to get one full coin of this. And the way that Ethereum, I see the future of it, a lot of people are thinking 100,000, 1 million, because Ethereum is one of the most, applicable coins, because you could use it for multiple things. A lot of, merchants, a lot of companies, businesses, they're using it as a form of payment, which will increase the value of it overall in time. So I do think that if you guys can start saving up some of your money, put some into a wallet like a USDC or a USDT wallet, let it, just accumulate. And then once it's time to pull the trigger on some of these cryptocurrencies, you invest at the right time. I'm going to load up on it and forget about it. The majority of what I do is, I'm not going to sit here and lie and say that I'm some guru of crypto, because I'm not. What I do is I simply just use technical analysis to identify best investment points. But the majority of all cryptos, I think, no matter what they're called, no matter anything, they're going to continue to be bullish, right? They have to, especially with how the world is transitioning into different things. It's becoming a lot more digital. A lot more people are becoming aware of trading, investing. It's become a lot more accessible. So I think the overall aspect of what cryptocurrencies will be doing is extremely bullish. It's just a matter of time and patience. It's still at this point the 1% of the 1% of the human population even knows what this is. That's basically like the entire, I'm only speaking military because this is what I know. It's like having the Navy SEALs, only the Navy SEALs invest into cryptocurrency, which is about, I think, 2,000 to 3,000 people in the Navy SEAL brand, like in the Navy SEAL teams. Shit. The only reason why I say that is because it's equivalent to that many people. If we were looking at population wise, the entire world, people investing, it's like that low, right? There's not many of us. But when people start becoming more aware of it, then it's going to be like, it's going to become valuable because everybody's going to be investing into it. Since people are still very new, it's still, I would say In some places, like I'll talk about cryptocurrency, I'm like, shh, don't say that around here. I don't know why, but it's the simple fact that not a lot of people are investing into it right now. So the volatility isn't going to be that great, right? The longevity of it is, though, because what was cryptocurrency before? Let's go back to Bitcoin really quick. We could even look at Doge, but what was cryptocurrency in the beginning? Now my internet wants to take forever. Oh, did I break? I broke TradingView. For some reason, every time I try to go into a weekly time frame, it never want to work. I think I broke TradingView, or Bitcoin just don't work here. But if you look at the majority of all cryptos, what you're going to be getting is now none of my cryptocurrency charts want to load up. It looks like none of my cryptos want to load up. I don't think it respected the way I was talking about it. I'm sorry, crypto market. Don't be salty. But the majority of it is just, again, the long-term idea is going to be more profitable. When they all started out, they were nothing. They were not valuable. Nobody believed in them. People were buying pizza with it. Remember that? And now look at it. It's the world's, or going to be the world's craze. So I think investing long-term is always going to be the best approach. If you guys agree, definitely let me know. I'm going to load. Oh, I already read that. Perfect. All right. So any other questions? Any other charts that you guys would like to take a look at? Feel free to let me know. I definitely got you guys. If not, I will conclude for today. I got to make sure that I'm looking for, I mean, there really isn't anything. I kind of been skimming through the charts here to kind of get an idea of what's going on. And it seems like for some reason, my internet is getting a little slow here. But yeah, any questions? Anything else you guys have? Any other charts you guys want to take a look at? Look at that, gold. What was I saying? It looked like gold was going to sell, right? I think I even put that out in the Discord, if I'm correct. Yep. Sell gold, buy USD CHF. This is our last week's trade on gold. So beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. So it does seem as if gold is in profits for us on both entries, and also anybody, obviously the beginning of the session, if you guys were able to, you can see here USD CHF in a beautiful, beautiful position. No drawdown for you guys either. Even though you guys were 15 pips late, you guys were still able to catch that. So if I'm correct, our entries were somewhere down here. So in total, actually I can look right now, we're about 25 pips in profit. So yep, from those lows. So you guys also who were able to, hey bro, what is your long-term outlook on GJ? Still bearish as hell. Long-term is still bearish. I mean, look at it. You know what I mean? Like, look at it. Respected resistance. Coming back down to support. Simple math. 2 + 2 = apples. 2 + 2 = apples. I know it makes no sense, but it's just to wake you guys up. Happy Monday, everybody. Good morning. Real quick, I do appreciate every single person who was on today. It really does motivate me to continue. We actually have 16 people on right now. For my second time doing this, that's, for me, an amazing feat. I was maybe expecting 2 or 3 people, and that's even with legacy students, because a lot of you guys, I know you guys have family, work, and are unavailable in the morning at times. But I just want to extend my gratitude for every single person who was on today. This is going to be a Monday through Thursday thing, maybe even a Friday, depends on what we do. But this is going to be every day. Can I take a look at GA? You're looking at sells? Yeah, I'll take a look at that real quick before we leave. But I mean, if GJ's selling, if GBP CAD is selling, if GBP USD is selling, if Euro GBP is buying, what do you think GBP AUD is doing? Selling. GBP AUD. I can't spell. And for some reason, it wants to take forever. So let's see. Yeah, absolutely. Look. Levels of strong structure. Scale down smaller time frame. Head and shoulders pattern. I can see that on the daily. If you know, you know. This is the thing. You guys got to feel confident about that shit. Before we go, you have to feel confident. I'm not the person that's going to be on the sessions that's going to be when you come in here and say buy or sell. I'll answer questions, but my thing is you need to know. You need to know. Don't ask me if it's a buy or sell, or that you're looking at a sell. Tell me the reasons on why, and then I'll let you know if you're wrong, and then correct it. But a lot of you guys, you'll be like, yo, buy or sell. Again, it's a confidence thing. You need to rely on yourself and your own analysis. And this is not to sound disrespectful, but this is to be real, because nobody else is going to tell you that shit. I'll be real with you. Nobody's going to sit here and tell you the nitty-gritty on how to become profitable, right? They are just going to want to be like, yeah, no, just sell, and then just beat around the bush. It is a sell because you are at a level of strong resistance and you do have that head and shoulders pattern. Not really much else you need to do with that. Also, the correlation of other pound pairs. Right now, the pound should be looking to lose a little bit of steam, especially with Euro GBP wanting to buy. Correlating factor is that when Euro GBP is buying, that means the pound GBP is losing momentum. So if that's the case, yes, I do think GBP will be a sell. But again, you guys got to feel confident with that. You have to be confident with that. I don't want you guys coming in here saying gold, buy or sell. Like what do you think? Right? If you come in here, you say, I'm looking at a sell, then you have an idea. You need to reinforce that with confidence. You're not going to look at something as a sell or a buy unless you've done something to determine that. And again, that's just to give you guys like that's real knowledge. That is absolute real knowledge, because nobody else is going to sit here and tell you that. Because confidence, once you have confidence within your trading, your lot sizes increase. And what happens when your lot sizes increase? So does your profits. I saw the head and shoulders, but yeah, I'm definitely working on confidence. That's the majority of everybody. I know. I've been doing this a long time. I've been doing this shit 7 years, going on 8 as far as educating everything. So I've seen it all. I know when somebody's not confident, because you can't give me analysis or tell me sell or some shit almost perfectly without doing some work. But it's just that last needed thing. It's like, I see it, but is it really? Again, like the analogy I always use is, if you go into a room of 100 people and they put one best friend, you have one best friend, and they throw him in there too, you're not going to notice anybody but your best friend. Pretty much like instantaneously, because you've seen it so many times, right? And you're not going to be like, is that Gary? Is that my boy? That looks exactly like Gary. He got the same tattoos. He got the same big ass head. And that looks like Gary. No, you see Gary, you're going to know it's Gary, right? It's the same thing here. If you're at a level of resistance, you shouldn't be like, is that resistance? If that's a head and shoulders pattern, is that a head? No. You say it with your chest and you feel confident, because again, that breeds profits. That's me being real. That is as honest as I can possibly be when it comes to trading. If you can see it, you can trade it. Plan your trade your plan. Hopefully that helps. But yes, I do think that GBP AUD is a sell, potentially setting up, but it's not developed just yet. We have to allow this daily candlestick here to close within the next 7 hours to see if that level of structure is rejected. If not, if it closes above, then you might get a different idea. But let it develop, and it'll tell you. But that's me being real, so hopefully that kind of helps. But I do personally have to leave as well. I got to make sure legacy students are on point. I also have to make sure that I take care of some errands. If anybody here is in New York City, by all means, feel free to let me know. I would love to link up with people, kind of, get knowledge off of other people, just link up, share, have a circle of like-minded people. It's really important that you always stay around valuable people and people who obviously want to succeed in life, obviously want to do the same thing as you. And me personally, I'm not going to quit until I have 500 million in my account. And I would say within the next 2 to 5 years, I'll be very close to that, or if not completed. So I want to make sure I have the right people around my circle to kind of expedite that process. But real quick, real shit. Yeah, you already know. Always, always, always. I appreciate every last one of you guys. Again, if you guys made money off of USDCHF, if you guys bought that, if you guys are in profits on that, please, by all means, like this, comment, share this with somebody. Again, I will be doing these on a daily basis. I want to make sure everybody is being, at least shown the market in the right direction. Being able to have an outlet somewhere, somebody that you ask questions with, and get a real answer. I'm never going to fabricate anything, because I know I never had anybody sit down and teach me what was needed. I learned everything through trial and error, trial and fire rather, because I burnt in the beginning, man. And I don't want anybody to make those same mistakes. I want to see everybody at least stay consistent, even if it's small profits. That'll build your confidence in the long term. So I definitely appreciate every last one of you guys. If you did like this, please like the video. Allow other individuals to get some knowledge and future trading as well. Don't make fun of my thumbnail. I know it looks crazy. I know I look insane, but I'm trying out here. I give you some credit. I'm trying to become a good influencer. I'm trying to actually become or give more value. Really make sure that everybody's learning and staying consistent with on the charts. If there is any signals, I will be sharing those in the Discord as well, maybe 1 or 2. As you see, I do send signals to my students to make sure that they're always remaining profitable, and they're big lot size signals, meaning that if we place it, if they have a $50 account, I expect them to be placing standards. No, I'm kidding. Don't place standards with $50 in your accounts. That's crazy. But no, if you have we try to take bigger lot sizes than normal, practice risk management, but also extend it a little bit so that way profits, come a little bit quicker. So I will be sending those type of trades out in the free Discord as well if I do see any, maybe like 1 or 2. So that way, obviously, we can all profit together as well as be on the charts, learn, understand some things, navigate, and really get a strong understanding of the charts as well together. So with that being said, highly appreciate every last one of you guys. I appreciate your time. And with that being said, thank you guys. Have an amazing day. Tell somebody you love them, and I'll see you guys on the next one. All right, guys.